T-Pound.
In a world
Get the hell up.
where Carolina Panthers fans
Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
have an insatiable thirst
I need to see a lot more of that shit going forward.
for Panthers news and opinions.
All my C3 brethren from the C3 Legion.
Only one podcast roars ferociously.
The longest running Panthers podcast on the internet.
It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, Greg, I owe y'all $100, man.
What is up, Panther fans? Tonight's show, Carolina Panthers rearrange rosters and IUDs. Boy, talk about digging it out, Smitty. Talk about digging it out.
Yeah, baby.
We're going to dig into the Panthers news this week as Dan Morgan talks about some of the approach that they have going into the draft as we prepare for the combine, as we follow the latest Carolina Panthers visits or the guys that they schedule to visit. And boy, does the chat know Tony Dunn? They already are saying, I can't wait to see his reaction to some of the names that are floating around at number 8. Dave Canales addresses the media, and boy, oh boy, did Steve Smitty, ice up that poonanny. Cody, let's go, my friend.
Oh, Tony Dunn, listen, we will take a tight end at pick number 8.
That's what Smitty said.
Will love it, man. Just like Steve Smith did. Look, tonight on the longest running Carolina Panthers podcast on the internet, we're going deep. Okay. Dan Morgan is telling everybody that this is a new age of the Carolina Panthers and that 2025 we will be aggressive on defense. He said that they want to bring the same energy towards rebuilding the defensive line as they did last year towards building the offensive line. We have talks about new contract extensions at corner, at center. Tony Dunn, we always do this with the best damn Panther fans and all of YouTube, and that never changes. We got Antonio McClenham, Blind Panther. What's up, Joey? CJA, the Sports Nut. What's up, bro? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Drew with the flu. Forest City Kitty. Harvey London. John B. Jenkins. Justin K. Our girl, Kristen Butler. Our man, D Money. Tim Estes. And the Hope Dealer. Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. We'd love for you to be a part of the conversation as we dig deep into the Carolina Panthers' upcoming season. And thank God that we'll talk about loss of affection laws as we go through this. We love to have you guys. We're glad that you haven't lost any affection for us as we hang out here on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., the longest running Panthers podcast. 14th, I think, 12. I mean, I got to go back. 2013. We're here in 2025. 13th season we're rocking. I got to turn the damn chime off my phone, but there's nothing I like to hear more than my man CK and those golden pipes. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, man, we're having a great evening. Man, we have more Panther stuff to talk about, and people are going to be pissed off because we're going to be talking about things that aren't always necessarily football related. But we're in February. It's all good. We're going to talk about whatever comes across our news feed as Panthers fans, what's going to make you interested, what we're interested in as Panthers fans. And if you don't like it, sorry to hear it, but we're going to have these conversations and, at least we have something to talk about that isn't just the next 2 months of us talking about
the draft. I'm more excited to talk about scandal and intrigue and all of this. There's no apologies necessary, CK. Yeah. This show is no holds bar and it's everything Panthers. And we're not dovetailing. It's not like we're talking about somebody, Travis Kelce and the Swiftless ass. We're talking about things that relate to the Carolina Panthers. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, get on here on Tuesday nights, Friday night free for all, and a lot of coverage to come as the Carolina Panthers open up the 2025 season. Cody, Lack, let's go. It's time to rearrange some rosters. It's time to rearrange somebody's home.
Dude, listen, it's 2025, man. There's lots of rearranging going on. Former relationships, new relationships. But look, let's jump into the first order of business, man. One of the last vestiges of the 2015 Super Bowl run that the Panthers went on is no longer on the roster. Shaq Thompson, the veteran of 9 years, this roster is moving on. This is from Dan Morgan. It says, we appreciate Shaq's leadership and dedication over the past 10 seasons, always a source of passion and enthusiasm. He was committed to this organization on and off the field, poured into his teammates, and strived to bring out the best in them. We wish Shaq the best as he moves forward with his career. And just to give a summary on the career that Shaq has had for the Carolina Panthers, his career stats with the Panthers include 127 games, 740 total tackles, 54 tackles for loss, 12 sacks, 3 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. Listen, Tony CK, I know that at times throughout the years, Shaq Thompson has been something of a punching bag for fans at times to sort of pick on because he didn't live up to what Luke Kuechly was, or he wasn't that dominant Mike like we were wanting him to be at a certain time. But I really do think we have to give credit to the man. He has been a rock on our defense for the time that he has been there. He's been there consistently. I know he's dealt with injuries in the most recent years, but he has been a through line on this team, and specifically on a defense that has seen so much turnaround in the time that he's been here. I mean, literally think back to that 2015 defense to what it's been the past couple of years. This dude has been through it all. He may not have been everything that we wanted him to be, but he was a leader. He was a veteran on this team when we needed him. So shout out
and he wanted to be here.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to be here, and that's another thing. He took a pay cut in order to be here. We even have the video of Scott Fitterer saying as much that we can play in a bit. But yeah, shout out to Shaq. We're moving on to hopefully bigger, better things. Boys, what say y'all?
My question to you guys, or I got a lot of things to say. Good, congratulatory. Look, you're always these are real people, they're real men, and we're thankful. I mean, almost like thank you for your service in a sense.
Yeah.
To me, I thought I was a little surprised that it said that like he's not coming back like so definitively. And to me, that's a little telling, or at least that's the way I interpreted it, was not that right now we're not eager to sign you back right away. You can go test free agents. You can do that.
Yeah.
But the kind of goodbye and send off is like the Panthers to me are saying that you're just not going to be part of the plans, even if we needed a body and we get to the draft and late in free agency and you have somebody that you want to sign on a 1-year deal for, kind of a filler role or potentially to get you through a little bit. I thought this was a clean break. It was a breakup. This is a breakup. Did I misinterpret that? Because I mean, we're talking about the Panthers just saying like, thank you. Like, it doesn't sound like there's an opportunity for him to come back on a 1-year deal or that they're interested in it. And I thought that he kind of was shopping that idea out there, not wanting to finish on an injury.
Yeah. To me, it seems like this is the Carolina Panthers telling everybody that we are going to move on.
Yeah.
Update the roster. We are making a concerted effort to get younger, faster, more aggressive. And I don't think that this was the wrong move for them to close the door, because if anything, it puts more onus on us as an organization to place the linebacker at the top of our defensive priority list. So this is an important thing for us. Again, it's nothing against Shaq, man.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And the dude had a lot placed on his shoulders as he was meant to be the transition point between two Panther great linebackers in Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis. And listen, he was by no means a failure at doing that.
No.
For a long time, he was a great linebacker. He wasn't as great
Well,
coverage.
he was a good one.
I'm not saying that he was on the level as Luke and Thomas Davis, but what I'm saying is that he wasn't a failure in that position. He didn't have the coverage ability that a Luke did, but especially later, he became pretty good at stopping the run and really making some key tackles in some big moments for the Panthers over the years. So, yeah, I do not disagree with your assessment that Carolina said, yeah, maybe we could have him back for another year, but why even do this? Let's get younger and let's focus on building the team.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's just younger, but a concerted effort to move in a distinct direction on the distinct direction. Yeah. That's some alliteration right there. It was CK it felt like this is an intentional look, and we're going to talk about Dan Morgan as talk about free agency and the defensive line. There's some intentionality here, and I think it's also respectful in a way to do it this way.
Well, that's the things that you hear a lot from the media and all that. They said that this actually, or even Luke, I think Luke had brought this up in a statement he had made about this, and that is Dan's doing him a favor, letting him prepare himself for the free agency market and everything along those lines, as opposed to this holding out and maybe hoping that the Panthers will, make the decision to bring him back. It's a bittersweet thing. Here's the thing, and Cody, you hit the nail on the head. Shaq Thompson has 100% gotten the short end of the stick from fans as a whole. I know a tremendous amount of people are still big Shaq Thompson fans and have been for his entire career, but he's also gotten not much love because he hasn't been a superstar. And anytime you step into the shadow of those two guys, in Luke and Thomas, man, it's impossible for you to live up to those standards without being the best linebacker in the league. And I'm thankful that we had him for the time that we did. And honestly, it's a little bit painful to see him go because it does kind of make you realize we are no longer the Panthers of old. There's only one holdout, and that dude is really not impacting the game in a major way, and that's JJ Jansen. But man, it's understandable. It's a needed move, but I have to say that it makes me sad.
CK, I think I got to admit on the podcast, and don't worry, people know me who listen to this show. I'm one of those people that gave Shaq Thompson a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I will say that when I started the podcast, I did this for an emotional outlet, like an argumentative outlet, because don't look at social media and talk politics and stuff. Like, I like to talk junk about sports because to me, at the very end of the day, it's a game, right? And so I don't feel like I'm a particularly petty person in life, but I can get petty when it comes to my sports teams. And now I'll tell you why in a second, but you're right. Is Shaq Thompson, you guys both said this, was put in a difficult position. And there is some kind of, I don't know if it's irony is the right word, but I saw Luke Kuechly speak about Shaq Thompson and how he was drafted to come in there, be a bridge, be a replacement, and this and that. And then Thomas Davis is playing incredible football late into his career to a point where it was better than expected. And so this put Shaq Thompson in a difficult position as not a top draft pick, but a first round draft pick. I think it was around 25 or something like that. But, Luke was very complimentary of his attitude, his approach, and things like this guy is in a part of his career where he needed to be, where he was in his prime, and he wasn't getting, in a sense, the opportunities or the dedicated position he would have to pay. But remember, they played him at Buffalo nickel his first year because he could cover early on. Then he tries to beef up and become a bigger linebacker and things. But he was always just kind of waiting. And then when he got his opportunity, Luke goes, the whole defense goes, and he didn't. I won't say I didn't play. Yeah, I didn't think he played to what I wanted him to be. And, I'll just go ahead and say this is my problems with Shaq Thompson are less about him and more about my own like inequity or like problems with myself. And that is like, I was so excited about him as being a player, and I wanted him to be that superstar. And then we were getting that shedding the skin of being a great team, and he wasn't that superstar. But then when I talk about the irony of the situation is like Thomas Davis, his best years of his career came at the back end. So I want to be complimentary. I've eaten my crow when it comes to Shaq Thompson. Talking about Petty here or stories, does anybody have favorite Shaq Thompson stories or anything that comes to mind when you think of them? And mine are less about him and more about me.
Man, that's a good question. I don't know if I have a particular story. But I do know that like Shaq Thompson, I think it was around the time that he changed his number to 7. I remember having the thoughts like, when he was drafted, he was supposed to be this kind of do-all player, right? Remember,
he was like your guy from Clemson. Remember?
Yeah, he was like the OG.
He was the first one.
Yeah, and like I even had myself wondering, like I remember when he changed his number, like why didn't we make any attempts to sort of move him around more? I mean, maybe that was just something that he could have got away with that in college, but there have been a few times and a few players that have been on our rosters that I feel like we weren't creative enough with, and I feel like Shaq Thompson is also probably one of those.
I don't think the multi-tool really works in the NFL. I mean, like you can maybe get a quarterback that's dual threat and some different things.
The best option, the best example of a multi-tool is Taysom Hill. Or
maybe Debo.
I mean, but even with that, I mean, I wouldn't put like he's a two-pronged approach in that scenario. I mean, most defensive players that play in any capacity from linebacker are going to be either they're going to be playing in multiple roles, such as pass rushing, dropping back into coverage, or just QB spy or something along those lines. So I don't think that what I would say is changing positions is certainly a lot. And I think there's a reason that you don't see a lot of defensive players doing that in a successful way.
I think Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin, was he a linebacker? Was he a safety? He was a safety linebacker, safety,
Well, and what ended up happening, like they stopped being able to use them in any place because it just like it was what do they call him? The jack of all trades, master of none.
Master, yeah.
It might be helpful from a depth perspective. Let's look at Brady Christensen, right? Like he can play all those different positions, but in the eyes of the front office, he hasn't mastered any of them. So the value that he's going to bring to the team may not be what Brady Christensen's going to want. So, I think Shaq Thompson is a injury history. It's a age situation, and it's a scenario where he has been good but not great.
Yeah, in the shadow of giants.
Yeah, he hasn't elevated the team to a play like you haven't felt like he has had such a presence on this defense to where it's like people avoid him, right? Like, right. Because of that, you have to make the decision on how you're moving forward. Here's the problem: if you kept him and you decided to draft a guy, then the guy's going to be inherently behind Shaq Thompson, and I don't think that's fair to either Shaq or the new guy. Let's give these guys an opportunity, especially if you draft a linebacker in the first round this year, which we're going to get to, but. I don't know. You just can't keep running it back and hoping that it's going to work, and then all of a sudden it not working because of an injury, and then you're kind of stuck there for the rest of the year, potentially having a scenario where you have a backup in there and not really playing at the same level Shaq was able to. I don't know. It makes sense. It's tough. It's emotional, but it makes sense.
My favorite Shaq Thompson story is he was on the verge of potentially being a pro baseball player. I think he played and pro for a second, because you can play baseball and be pro like when you're in high. He went 1 for 36, and they said at the plate, and they asked him about this when he was drafted. He said, "I couldn't hit the curveball." He just couldn't hit the curveball. So what they figured out right away, he couldn't hit the curveball. All right, here is my petty story. I'm embarrassed. I'll embarrass myself to a degree.
Before you tell it, can I play this one real quick clip of Federer talking about what Shaq Thompson did to stay here?
Yeah.
And then we can go into it. Sorry to make people listen to Scott Federer again, but talking about Shaq Thompson.
He's a team leader, one of the most unselfish people I've been around, and he wanted to be here. It's important for him to be in Carolina. He loves Charlotte. He loves the Panthers, and what it came down to, we had a conversation. We sat down, in the stadium, and we just talked man to man. Said, "Hey, listen, what do you need? This is what we need." We worked through it. I know he slept on it. He called me back and said, "Hey, listen, this is what I'd like to do," and I can't thank him enough. I mean, it's such a team first move that he did, and a ton of respect for Shaq. And he wanted to be here, and we made it work. Yeah, so a Panther through and through. I don't know what kind of market he has. I really don't know if we're ever going to see Shaq playing for another team. So if this indeed is the end of a career, shout out to Shaq. Great team guy. And sorry we couldn't win the big game with him.
So the story I got to tell is this about why I was kind of petty and begrudging against him in the early parts of his career and beyond just it wasn't his rookie season. He actually had a good rookie season where he made impact plays. He just wasn't a full-time player on the team. But 2016, 2017, I've only bought 2 jerseys in my history of being a Panthers fan before a player played a snap. One was Julius Peppers, because that was my guy, played in Bailey, North Carolina. I mean, I was going to cheer for him wherever he was going. I actually wasn't even an NFL fan at the time. And I said, and I was getting into the NFL. And I said, wherever Peppers goes, I'm going to support him and cheer for him. And then he went to the Panthers, number 2. And I was like, now I'm a Panthers fan for life. It just was, the stars came into alignment. The second jersey that I bought was before they played a snap was Shaq Thompson. And I was so big on the Dave Gettleman train. I was so hype about this multi-tool, versatile player that could do all these different things. I was like, this guy's going to be a star. I was a Shaq Thompson believer and supporter before he even played a snap. So, and then he was good, but not great. So that was that had something to do with it. The funny and silly part of this story, this shows you how cheap my ass is. And I'm upset that I bought his jersey before he played a snap. I didn't even buy an authentic jersey, bro. I bought this shit from China. I bought it off of one of them, you know what I'm saying? And it was like somebody stole it off the rack in China or whatever. So this is where the story gets great, though, is I went to a Panthers game. It's probably 2016, and came back, made good time coming back, and my friends were out partying. Or I stopped at on the way back into town at this strip club, and this 12 out of 12 stripper, she was Russian. I got a thing for Russian girls. She knew her. My friend used to knew her. So I get this dance from this girl, right? And it was silly. It's a silly story because I thought it was over. She's like, "What? You trying to get up early?" I was like, "Oh God." I'm sitting here. I was like, all this stuff. So I get home right after a long day of Panthers game, driving back and this and that. And I'm trying to shed cigarette smoke off of me, hide that ultimately that I was hanging out with my boys, hit the strip. And because I bought a Chinese jersey and I've been sweating in that joint, the top of my khaki shorts and my undershirt were purple, bro. It bled. It bled.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, is lesson learned about Chinese jerseys. They bleed. They bleed. Shaq Thompson, thank you, though. No, is tough, good. Tough time. Actually, how about this? Is credit him just being a good player in a tough time for the Carolina Panthers.
Sure. Love it, love it, love it. Let's jump back into this show. So Dan Morgan and Dave Canales spoke at the Combine. The Combine's coming up here very soon. I believe it's this weekend. And hey man, it's that time of year. People are starting to look at the brand new players. But also we're starting to look forward towards free agency. And Dan Morgan did a press conference today. And he said a lot of revealing things that we're pretty much basing our show around tonight. First, to continue with the cuts, we already talked about Shaq Thompson, but Dan Morgan hinted that there could be an even greater exodus of potential Panthers, former Panthers that have been on this team for a while. Some of these players include Eddie Pinheiro, Xavier Woods, and Tommy Tremble, saying that they will let them test the market, but also mentioned that they could bring them back depending on how things shake out. Boys, here we go again with the Eddie Pinheiro shit. The worst haircut, the worst everything, dude. I'm so tired of hearing what an accurate kicker this dude is. He's so not clutch. He's so average. And he's probably going to try to command a pretty penny. And I just really hope the Panthers don't do it. Dan Morgan said that they would be looking at the kicker market to see what would be available to them. But, boys, how do we feel about some of these names? Personally, I understand it's the business, but I would like to see Tommy Tremble come back if he could come back on a reasonable contract.
It will be reasonable.
Yeah, but
it will be reasonable. There's no way he can command more than reasonable.
Yeah, and if we do decide to draft a tight end, then maybe that changes things. But I don't know. I've always liked Tommy Tremble. I've always felt that he's sort of been a victim of his circumstances and having so much offensive turnaround. I do think he has the potential, even still, to be a better pass catcher than he has been. And he's a strong blocker, and he's a tough dude. So I like Tremble. I would like to see him come back, but it appears that him and Ian Thomas are probably gone from this organization.
Did he say Ian Thomas?
You got a 5-head, bro.
What did you say, CK?
Did he say Ian Thomas as well?
Yeah, Ian Thomas is likely not coming back. He didn't say it in this interview, but it's pretty much been confirmed.
Good though.
All right. Well, you know what is out of the names on this group that I think would be, I mean, I would be fine with Tommy Tremble coming back. One of those guys that was hyped up again early. We get so lashed on the guys in the draft, and we want them to be studs. What was he, a 4th-round pick?
Yes, it was a 4th-round pick. Yeah.
He's not been bad. He just hasn't been a difference maker. But I think he's come up big in a couple of times for the Panthers. He's this stupid thing where he wants to hurdle people all the time. I think he had one stretch in his 2nd year where he had the dropsies a little, but he's kind of corrected that. Or, I mean, that's a younger player that could add to the team. You know what I'm saying? At a position where he's not going to get a lot of money. Eddie Pinheiro and this hair got to go.
Yeah, I've not been a fan of him for a long time. I wish we would have tried to cultivate the talent of.
How you got a buzz cut comb over?
I do not know, man.
It's like an ice cream. It looks like an ice cream cone.
Yeah, it's terrible. Right. I'm not a fan of him, dude. And even today, I saw a thing saying that he was the 3rd most accurate kicker in NFL history. Get the fuck out. I'm so tired of talking about him being this accurate kicker, dude. It pisses me off, and it makes me very angry.
All right, what we got next?
So let's hit next. A little out of order here, but this was the schedule for this week. Is there a certain reason you?
I know. I just thought this. I mean, look, we're looking for things to talk about. What did we learn here? We're going to play the division. I didn't know that and I don't know how accurate this is, to be honest. I didn't know that and I should remember, we've only been doing this for 12 or whatever years, that we knew what home and away games were. I just thought we knew our opponents in the past, like what the division we're going to be playing. that was out of conference, right? So I'm not entirely sure if this is just completely accurate, but obviously we're going to play the division at away. But it does say this is Rams, Seahawks, Bills, Dolphins, Cowboys at home, Cardinals, 49ers, Patriots, Jets, Packers, Jaguars. So that makes us play in the AFC North. Is that right? No, who are AFC North? Bills, Dolphins, Jets,
Patriots. Yeah.
Patriots. And then you get the two outlier games of Cardinals, 49ers, Rams. Oh, now it's three outlier games because of the 17-game schedule. So I just thought it was nothing really to discuss in a sense, as in home or away. But we've got the NFC North, which is actually good because look, you got the Patriots, the Jets, and the Dolphins are all teams that are. We're not calling wins and losses here, but those are teams that are in need of improvement themselves. So it's not like we're playing the NFC North and we got to play the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. The Packers are up here. It could be worse. I'm just saying. I thought it would be noteworthy to mention since we talk about the latest news and opinions. We can move on though, because the Carolina Panthers are also got news about Xavier Legette, which we had been told that he had a hand injury. And this tweet from Mike K from the Charlotte Observer, the hand injury was a wrist injury. Xavier Legette, though, according to reported by Mike K, didn't have wrist surgery, but did have foot surgery per Panthers GM Dan Morgan. Legette, one of these guys, early out the gate, a lot of people are hyped about him. I am stoked. I don't think we have to have the big worry and concern. When it comes to foot surgery, you're wondering, is that a bone? Is it like a broken, some sort of fracture? Is it like plantar fasciitis? I don't know. But the one thing I wanted to see out of Xavier Legette that I didn't see this season was run after the catch.
Yeah.
And like you got the big body, you got the speed. I thought that he would be running some dudes over, but it did feel like every time he caught the ball, he was then on the ground right after.
Yeah. And I mean, shout out to the boy White Chocolate Espresso. He was saying it was a miracle that Xavier Legette did anything if he was that busted up. I mean, we knew that he had a hand injury or that he had a wrist injury that was dating back to him being in college. But now we learned that he had foot surgery. And listen, especially with the drops that he had last year, of course, you're going to have the people that are already kind of wondering if Xavier Legette is an injury-prone player. I mean, he's already been dealing with it a lot. Apparently, he was hurt a little bit when he was at South Carolina. So, I don't know, man. Dude, this is going to be a big year for Xavier Legette. They don't know if he'll be available for OTAs as of this point right now. So, that's going to be something to keep an eye on. I don't know, man. It's going to be disappointing if we did end up moving up for someone that is already catching the injury bug so much. But no less, I hope that he's recovered soon and that he has a big bounce back here, because it seems as though the public view on Xavier is not great right now.
CK, do you have those golden pipes warmed up?
We can make them warmed up.
Warm them up. Do a little. Ooh, me. We've got. Hey guys, did you know you can be a C3 super fan for $1.99 a month, and a little bit from a lot of people will help us continue to pay the bills to keep this podcast going. Off season's tough for us. Hey, 6-7 losing seasons have been difficult, but you guys are the greatest. Smash the thumbs up button. Consider making a donation. If you want, the best thing you do is call into the show at 252-5098 and just be a part of that conversation. CK, we've got a new member in Coach P. By the way, shout out to C3D's Ill Skills brand ambassador, 25 months as a C3 super fan. Welcome, my man, into the super fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are welcoming Coach P into the C3 Super Fan Club. He's here just in time to talk about the Carolina Panthers draft prospects and legends getting down with opposing teams, band members. Coach
My
P,
man,
welcome to the C3 the Super Fan Club.
My man, thank you for being a part of the C3 Super Fan Club. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. Don't forget, tonight's show brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And it's basketball season, it's hockey season, and you can get on Underdog Fantasy, which is one of the leading sports apps, and play now in your state. Do you want to win up to 1,000 times of your money? You can with Underdog. I don't know what your guys need to be doing, but this is what I'm doing. I got Bradley Beal over 27 points, rebounds, and assists. Bro, he already got it. Quarter 3. Now I'm looking for Luka Doncic. 8 assists over. Starts in 21 minutes. LeBron, I went lower than, should I say, 24.5 points. I don't know enough about basketball, but I do know that the Carolina Hurricanes are getting mollywomped right now, but they've been having a good season. You can go to underdogfantasy.com right now and turn $1 into $1,000 with your hoops knowledge, with your hockey knowledge. The way to do this is download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code C3P to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with the promo code C3P. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. You must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Cody Black, I think. Well, you want to do one more news bit and then we'll get to the calls?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do one more news bit. Let's get through the news and then we will get to the calls. And don't worry, we got to go deep on this. Smitty.
Yes, sir. And we got some more cat calls to get to. But so let's see. This is from Joe Person with Dan Morgan talking about building the O-line was the goal last year, and improving the defensive line will be the focus this year. Now, what that says to a lot of people is that we might look to fix this defensive line in free agency like we did last year with Lewis and Hunt, basically fixing the interior of that offensive line. A lot of people are pretty much speculating that we're going to do that again this year. We're going to find 2 badasses to come in, be on this defensive line, and more set us up to be able to go best player available on a few different positions on this team that Dave Canales mentions later. I have a video clip of him talking about it. But what do you guys think of the Panthers putting as much thought and attention to this defensive line this offseason as they did the O-line last offseason?
CK, I thought we did a tremendous job in Dan Morgan's inaugural season as Panthers GM of addressing a specific need in a targeted way and not getting distracted by Brian Burns, not getting distracted by these other things, and taking the money you got and really allocating to something that moved the needle. You were a person that was clean slate. While you didn't dislike Dan Morgan as his pedigree and his history with the Panthers, we were jaded as in, let's move along from this and let's start anew and afresh. But Dan Morgan really came out the gate and was intentional in that. And you had Panther fans saying, I can't believe you're letting Brian Burns walk. And we're sitting here going, this guy went and copped the 2 best guards, in free agency, did it for the same amount of money, And it panned out with Chuba Hubbard having a 1,000-yard season. Bryce Young having protection throughout it. It worked. CK, I know you got to be excited about hearing Dan Morgan doing the same thing for the defensive line, which needs it just as badly as the Panthers' offensive line needed it.
Man, listen, you can't ask for a better way the first GM or first year GM was able to come out and basically do some crazy good repairs from the previous administrations. That focus on the offensive line, getting back a second round pick, also that you had gotten from the Giants, using that to pick up another second round pick was a baller move. So yeah, I mean, all of that focus, I'm absolutely thrilled if he's going to put that same energy on bringing some of these other people in. Listen, I'm not opposed to trading for a guy, from another team that is interested in a trade, i.e. Allen from Commanders, who's requested a trade, and they'll be seeking a trade as long as it's not, anything crazy, maybe a second round draft pick, if it's the right guy, something along those lines. But man, I'm just happy that there's a focus on that. And I'm glad there is going to be a focus, because if this defense comes out and it doesn't look any at all improved, or let me rephrase, and look significantly better this year, regardless of like whether there's a bad player, maybe we made a bad move in signing somebody, Evero has got to go. And it better not take more than 5 games to let him out of the building. If this defense continues to look like it did last year, you cannot continue with the mediocrity on the defense. And the first thing you can do to send a message to the players and the other coaches is to get rid of the person at the head of the table in that defense, and that's Evero.
Yeah.
Cody, let's jump into some cat calls. The number is 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
CK, Tony Dunn, Cody Lack, the C3 Legion. What up, guys? It's the Hope Dealer checking in real quick.
What up, Hope Dealer?
Hey, I just wanted to weigh in real fast on the Shaq Thompson situation. I love Shaq Thompson as much as anybody, and I appreciate the contribution that he gave to us the past 10 years. And I know that there are emotional attachments from a lot of fans with players like Shaq Thompson because he's a good dude. But the reality is, y'all, we got to get younger. We got to get younger at linebacker. And Shaq, he's been so injured the past 2 years, man, that there's no guarantee that he would come back and play at a high level. This defense needs help, and we got to get younger. Now, when I look at the linebacking core right now, we got Trayvon Wallace, Josie Jewell, and Claude Cherilus, our main 3 linebackers. I don't think that's going to cut it. I'm not saying that Shaq was the answer, but I don't think that's going to cut it. So I was just wondering, who do you guys think we should be looking at the combine this weekend as far as linebackers, if that's a position y'all think we should be looking at maybe in the mid to later rounds? What players stand out at the combine? But anyway, Mr. Hope Dealer, once again, checking in, man. I hope everybody is staying hopeful out there. Just know that it's gonna be beautiful, y'all. The days are getting longer, the sun is shining, and we just gonna keep pounding, baby.
Keep pounding, baby. And shout out to the Hope Dealer, dealing that hope right when we need it the most, you dig? But listen, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of names that are already being mentioned at the number 8 overall pick. And there's a few different spots that could be there. I know everybody talks about linebacker because we're in such a need of an edge rusher and outside linebacker. We're going to play the clip here in a minute of Dan Morgan talking about Jalen Walker and how they view him and how they view him as a top player. But I also think, if you believe Dave Canales, there could be some offensive players that are available to us at number 8 that they would be willing to draft, depending on how they built the defense in free agency. So I'm okay with it if we do decide to go offense. In the end, though, I'm hoping for a Mason Graham or a Jalen Walker or maybe even an Abdul Carter to be able to fall to us to be able to bolster that defensive line.
Thanks for the hope. Dealing that hope, Cody. Let's take another call.
What's up, y'all? It's Lucas from Far City. I want to talk about Shaq Thompson real quick. I understand why the Panthers didn't re-sign him, but he will definitely be missed in Carolina. Not a lot of players play 10 years for us, but Shaq did, and I'll definitely remember his time here. In the words of one of my favorite bands, Nickelback, it's hard to say it. It's time to say it. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you, Shaq, for everything you did for the Panthers, but seems like that time is the past, and we're looking forward to the future. And it's crazy that I think now the long snapper, I can't think of his name, but the guy that does Shark Talk, I think he's the last guy that was on the 2015 team that's still on the Panthers now that Shaq's gone. Starting to feel old. Keep pounding. Go Panthers.
You know, it's interesting.
What's crazy about that? I was going to say real quick, what's crazy about that is the JJ Jansen thing is, for whatever reason, I forgot we traded for him. I thought he was, for the longest time I
didn't know that. I don't even remember that.
Yeah. We traded he was in Green Bay. We did not draft him. I thought we had I've been believing that we drafted him for the longest time, but I completely forgot about that until that.
So he's like the longest tenured player on a team, and he wasn't even drafted by that team.
No, and wasn't even drafted.
Thank you for
anyway.
Thank you, Forest City Kitty, for your C3 bomb of $1.99. He says, thank you, Shaq. Keep pounding. One C3 bomb leads to another. One thing about Shaq I really admire is, and as part of the underwhelmed club of Shaq Thompson, people came after Shaq hard in the paint. On social media, about because we're in that era of, look, we're doing a podcast just talking about it, let us tell you what we think. I thought Shaq Thompson not only took criticism with grace, but maybe ignored it. Maybe he didn't even have Twitter. I hope. I think I've actually seen him on Twitter, so I do think he has Twitter.
He has Twitter, yeah.
But the admiration I have for him is. Yeah, the admiration I have for him is that he had that commitment to the team and to the fan base despite the Tonys of the world, in a sense. And I think that shows a lot about who he is. Greg Olson spoke about him, and he said that what was better than his play was him as a man. And you can't have a better compliment when someone compliments you as a man or as an individual, as a human being. Shaq Thompson, we wish you the best. The one other thing I was going to say about this is that the JJ Jansen thing, while we keep talking about the vestiges of the 2015 season, that's 10 years ago, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's all.
It's actually surprising in a way that there's anybody left.
No, I know. The fact that we even have 2 is sort of wild.
Yeah, and I know it shouldn't. You want to say that maybe there was a young guy that was going to be a star with you for a long time, but people move around when it comes to the NFL. It's a business and all of that. I just think it's we are holding on, and we should be, because that's all we have to hold on to just the goodness, the last goodness. The last goodness we had after that was the run that we had, which then resulted in Cam getting his shoulder blown up. So even the best story was a tragic story. The second best story was Christian McCaffrey getting the 1,000 season and a meaningless season. Guys, we need new story. We need a new chapter. We need a new book. We need a new season. And when I say a new season, I mean a football season. But I'm thinking like it's time for a new season on Netflix. What have we been waiting for? What type of show? We're waiting for that show where the Carolina Panthers don't suck. And Bryce Young leads them into a new era. Cody, Lack, let's take another call.
Podcast brothers, how y'all doing? It's G Kavasi. Hey.
What up, G?
Y'all saw the news. We're done with Shaq Thompson. The end of an era. I'm gonna miss that dude. He was a decent linebacker. He really was. Now, I'm gonna start something. Now that he is gone, what I would love the Panthers to do, go after Hassan Reddick. Bring that boy back. I would really love to see him come back to Carolina because that dude was a tackling machine. And he racked up some sacks, too. I can really see that. Yeah, the Combines this week. Is it Thursday or Friday? One of them days. But, yeah. And I don't know if you guys seen, but Abdul Carter, he's not going to be at the Combine. He's going to be at the pro day, but they say he's coming off an injury. And when I read that, I was like, now I'm thinking twice about Panthers even looking at this dude. Because look at Jonathan Brooks last year. You see what I'm saying? And
I hear you.
I mean, honestly, I think he'll be gone by number 8 anyway. Hey, when it comes to number 8, there's 2 dudes that I want. Like I told you, I wanted that defensive tackle for Michigan. But if Jalen Walker is there, boy, that dude Mike Green, that's what I really want. Mike Green, whoo, that boy, 17 sacks in one season. I know he played underneath the Sun Belt and everything like that, but that boy is something, man. But come this damn Combine, man, I think a lot of people are going to drop, and I think a lot of people are going to rise. But give me your thoughts on that, man. Would y'all want Hassan Reddick back? Keep pounding, y'all.
Keep pounding. You want to go first, Tony? Or you want me to take it?
Hassan Reddick is an interesting name. I loved him. I think he did a lot of great things for the Panthers. I like a guy who's out there. He knows it's a business. He's out there he got a big contract with the Jets, right? No, he went to the Eagles.
He went to the Eagles.
Got the big contract with the Eagles. Then somehow was on the Jets, sitting out. I don't know if
the Jets demanded more money and sat out.
Lost money and potentially. I don't know what that's going to do for him. But look, that is actually an excellent fit on this team at this moment. A guy that's a hunter, right? So, would I welcome him back with open arms? The question is that you would have to feel him out as an individual with his agent and all of this, and how his time in Carolina affected his mentals. What does he think about the organization and the team? Because you need somebody that we're not going to give him the money that he, like big money. You give him maybe respectable money or something. You don't insult him, but you could use a player like that. But you also need a player that is going to build the cult. I mean, I feel like it's so cliche, the culture, this and that. But right now, we're not out there trying to win Super Bowls. We're trying to get stronger. We're trying to win the division. We're trying to get better on defense. And you need a guy that's going to rally young players and be a rock in that system. So I don't think he's a problem child by any means. I think the Panthers made a mistake by not hedging their bets with Hassan Reddick, instead hedging their bets with Brian Burns. Not opposed to it, Cody, in this situation, in desperate need of a pass rush, but he brings up the draft picks, Jalen Carter, and Dan Morgan was interested in talking, disinterested in talking about it. And this is the time of year where any name, any talk leads to a billion discussions about what somebody can be, will be. and what the Panthers' interests are in them. Dan Morgan addressed the media on these players that we're talking about.
Yeah, he did. Also, to put a cap on that call, Abdul Carter, who he mentioned,
I
he
said
does.
Jalen Carter.
But there's a Jalen Walker.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
No, that's par for course for Tony.
Yeah. So no, Abdul Carter, he injured himself in the bowl game against Notre Dame. He has a shoulder injury. He's not doing any on-field drills at the combine. He is participating in physicals, and his agent Drew Rosenhaus says we fully expect Abdul to be recovered in time to work out at his pro day at Penn State. He will perform at a very high level. So he's still a top prospect in this year's class. Maybe that prevents him from being picked number 8. But to me, this is also a reason why you theoretically could and probably should trade back in the first round if you can to recoup some future draft capital. I think that would be brain busters for Carolina.
Was he talking about the Georgia player, though?
No, Abdul Carter's the Penn State
the
player.
Jalen Walker. Am I thinking
So Jalen Walker. So let me play this clip.
Yeah, let's hit that.
Everybody saw this clip of Dan
in
Morgan
different
talking.
ways. It's like a Warshak. It's a Warshak.
Yeah, dude. Like everybody heard this clip, and a lot of people felt like this is Dan tipping his cap towards how much we like Jalen Walker. He's the edge rusher from Georgia. So this is what Dan had to say. Let me rewind it.
Yeah, I don't know how most teams say him. I know he's a talented player. There's a lot of talented players in this draft. He's just one of many. So excited to just keep digging and getting to know these guys and move forward.
Where do you have him listed?
Say that again.
Where do you view him, his position?
I'm going to kind of keep that close to the vest right now, but he's a good player. Yeah.
So everybody is taking this smirk.
Awesome.
This smirk that he had while talking about him.
Smirk? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I know he's a talented player. There's a lot of talented players in this draft. He's just one of many. So.
Now I'm sorry,
That's
but
not a smirk.
There is
that's
to me,
a concussion smile.
Dan Morgan said absolutely nothing.
Yep.
He said nothing at all.
Rorschach.
He didn't.
Rorschach
He didn't even say anything overtly glowing about Jalen Carter or about Jalen Walker. He didn't even do that. A lot of people are talking and like, oh, this is for sure.
Okay. I saw this. And somebody said this is the pick.
Yeah, and dude, listen, if it is, Jalen Walker is indeed a beast.
Would he make it right? Would he make it to 8? Would he drop to 8? That's the other thing. It's like it feels like this is that he's the pick, but he's probably gonna go before 8.
So on drafttech.com, we had him falling to the early teens. So theoretically he could be there. Him and Abdul Carter can be there. And another guy that people have been talking about, I believe he played at Marshall. Shout out D Money. It's a dude named Mike Green. But now it's just come out that he has a sexual assault allegation at the college that he went to, and he has one from high school as well.
I wanted dogs, but not that type of dog.
Yeah, not them type of dogs.
Don't worry, we're gonna be talking about Smitty breaking up marriages in a second.
Yeah. Consensual dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But
to this though, Cody, John B. Jenkins, C3 Superfan, says, "Can we get a body language ghost breakdown of this?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Rorschach test. I didn't see the smirk, but there's 2 ways to look at it, or there's.
I'm gonna mute it and then play it over again.
All right. So the way I look at he had a little flinch, a little twitch. That's just concussion twitch.
That's Dan,
I love you. I loved you when you played, but we know you played like a caveman. You sacrificed your own mental health on the field. I know there's a million ways to read this, but I read it in 2 different ways. the honest way, like what he's saying is I'm not going to say anything about anything. You know, I mean, look, we're so early in the process that this would be silly for me to talk out of turn, and that's probably what it is. The read into the scenario fan part for me is he's like, barely even saw his tape. Heard he's kind of good. Like it was like he acted like he barely even knew that the player existed in a way. And then you're like, oh shit, he wants to be like, no, the Panthers not in, just another dude, good player. I hope the best. We're not hungry for him. I hope he falls. That's the way I read the conspiracy. Is he acted like I ain't even. It was like it's like trying to. You got the girl that you got the number from, and you are dying to text that girl, and you're like, I ain't gonna text her tomorrow. I ain't gonna text her.
Yeah, I mean, dude, to me, this is a big nothing burger. I don't think
It
he's
is
saying
nothing. Yeah,
anything.
you're right.
How about this? We're getting ready to play the Canales clip of him talking about Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, and he seemed far more convicted about Tyler Warren than Dan Morgan did about Jalen Walker. So take that for what it's worth, man. You want to take another call?
Yeah, let's take one more call. Also, by the way, the number is 252-228-5098. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe, be a part of the conversation. The Panthers are in talks with Austin Corbett and Cade May's agents to bring back a center. We want to hear your thoughts on all of this, Cody. Let's take that call, and then we'll get back into the news.
Yo. What's going on, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. Hope y'all boys are having a great Tuesday, man. Today was crazy. Had a lot of things going on, internships for college, a ton of things, man. But obviously, you know, I can't miss my Carolina Panthers when a press conference comes on. The boys are back. The off season. I still love football. I love all the content we can get. So here, I'm going to give you my breakdown of what I personally thought today. So, let me start off by saying this. Dan Morgan has made it clear that a lot of the holdovers from past regimes are not going to be back. Ian Thomas, Shaq Thompson. I don't think Miles Sanders is going to be back. A lot of those guys, you're getting the boot. You're out. Love it. You got to move on from these guys. They've been here for too long. They haven't really provided us much. I love that about where he's going. Second thing is, this dude loves Jalen Walker. Last year, it felt like Xavier Legette let the cat out of the bag and we were drafting him. This feels like another guy. And to be honest, I'm all for it. This dude's a beast. He's young. He's obviously got some. He's a little raw, but like I really think that if they could make him a full-time edge rusher, he could be great for us. Second thing I want to say. There is finally conviction and support behind our goddamn quarterback. For the first time in like 5 off seasons, man. Dave Canales says, we got our guy. Now let's build the team to become the 2025 Carolina Panthers. You know how good that feels as a fan, as if you're Bryce Young, like you have affirmation that like, I'm the guy. I got the confidence going into this next year. Let's continue to build around us. You know, Dan mentioned D-line, obviously. Again, man, I've been saying this. We're going to have a shit ton of cap space, man. Us, the Commanders, and the Patriots, best cap situations in the league over the next 3 years. I told you guys this a month ago, and people are just finally starting to catch on and be reporters and stuff. Shout out Alex. He also helped me with this whole thing. So expect us to be interested in Javon Holland, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, blah, blah, blah. Third thing is Dave Canales went on and he talked about Tyler Warren. That'd be very interesting to pick him. I know I've been talking about wide receiver one. I still believe in that, but he is kind of like a wide receiver one. He'd be a great pick. But Dave Canales also went on Pro Football Talk and said our top 3 needs are
Here's another one.
All right, and we're going to go straight to his discussion about Dave Canales and this tight end nonsense after we take part 2 of Anthony from Charlotte's call.
Sorry,
Nonsense.
I got cut off. I had to say this though. So Dave Canales is on Pro Football Talk, in Indianapolis with Mike Florio and Chris Sims, and he said they asked him like, "What are your top 3 needs for this team? Your opinion?" He said safety, D-line help, and weapons. And I've been telling people, man, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna try to get Bryce Young a bona fide guy. And it's not just because of Bryce Young needs it, but it's also because you got to think about it. Dave Canales calls the plays. Dave Canales creates the schemes. Dave Canales designs everything. He's going to want to eventually upgrade that position, and that's why I think you're seeing a lot of Tyler Warren smoke right now. I just feel like if we could upgrade this D line and get a serious playmaker on this roster, this team has a ton of potential, man. So there's that. And then, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Give me your thoughts or your opinions. I thought Dan Morgan he's revealing too much, man, when it comes to, like, these draft prospects.
He didn't say anything.
The one thing about the draft is you want to have suspense when the Panthers pick it. I mean, I love Jalen Walker. I think that'd be a great pick. Like, don't get me wrong. The dude can stop the run, and he's got some great bull rush moves, set a physical edge. But Panthers, please don't make your draft picks obvious, and we want to be surprised, man. But all in all, if they're good players, who cares? Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
Anthony from Charlotte. Anthony, if you're still in the chat listening, call back and tell us why you think, like, what we played. Yeah, dude, we played the interview, and there was like nothing that Dan Morgan really did or said to like signal some overt love for Jalen Walker. But look, he's right though.
Cody, it's like this: is that you're under law, your Miranda rights to remain silent. Like the idea of you saying no comment. Now, I guess you could we're going to believe what we want to believe. But when you say no comment, you either look guilty or not guilty.
Yeah, it's like no matter what you do. He
actually said nothing. And Anthony's like, oh, saying too much by saying nothing.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, pump the brakes there, Dan. But, Tony, listen, man. Well, first, before we go forward, thanks to Kitty Lit Zio at Carolina Panthers Pod. Says with the 1999s that didn't go through last time, appreciate the cross-pod support. Listen, brother, we have a saying over here, the rising tide lifts all boats, and Panthers content creators support each other, man. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the kind donation. Y'all check out Kitty Lit Zio. Him and Anthony did a great.
Let's get them on the show. Let's get them on the show. Need to. We're going to have a lot of time. We need something. It's like Tony gets exhausted. Divorce, like, good Lord, like we need some fresh opinions. One C3 bomb leads to another C3 bomb, just like one subscribe, one share leads to one viewer, one listener, one member of the Legion. Cody, you mentioned this what
listen, Tony,
I feel like this is I know like I dominate. I'm Italian. I dominate conversation. CK, you know how I feel about tight ends in the draft.
Right.
First round, all of this. And now, Cody, fill me in. What the hell were they talking about?
Yeah, man. So let's talk about this a little bit. This might be the one thing to depress Tony more than getting divorced. It's taking a tight end with the 8th overall pick. And Dave Canales hinted at some of this a little bit. Let's see what he had to say. This is him talking to Mike Florio about the 3 most needed positions, at least how he sees it at this point.
So when you come here, you're looking for anything and everything you can. But what's your specific objective? If you
How's Mike Florio look bigger than Dave Canales, bro?
To improve for this year.
Yeah, defensive front play first and foremost.
Defensive front 7, and we knew that.
Certainly safety. Like we got one safety currently on the roster.
Right? He even says it. We have no bodies on the roster to even play the position
right now. That's a big emphasis. And then offensive weapons. just like who is that impact player? Is it a receiver, tight end, or a running back? You know, just that
We thought it was Jonathan Brooks. That's what he was saying.
That can really
That's
help
what he
us,
just
you
said.
know, and really give, you know,
Take
Bryce-
you a little pressure off. Throw a 5-yard passing.
So, all right, this is his comments about Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, who's already drawing comparisons with Brock Bowers, the tight end sensation for the Raiders last year.
I think, speaking of versatility, here's a guy that can play close to the interior and play physical because of his sheer size, but then he does create some mismatches in the pass game. You know, you can hand him the ball.
You can talk about a grand.
If you look at, you know, some of the teams that are using tight ends for QB sneak, you know, that would be a weapon for somebody in a short yardage situation to utilize him. So he's a very interesting prospect.
Dave was fawning over Tyler Warren
Look at the
way more.
Look at the smile. Look at this
I think he's an
stupid
incredible
smile.
player. I think, speaking of versatility, here's a guy that can play close to the interior and play physical because of his sheer size, but then he does create some mismatches in the pass game. You know, you can hand him the ball, you know, so if you look at, you know, some of the teams that are using tight ends for QB sneak, you know, that would be a weapon for somebody in a short yardage situation to utilize him. So he's
I like
very
Cody. I love how they're sitting here going, Dan Morgan tipped his hand. They might as well say Dan Morgan tipped his hand, but beautiful Dave Canales didn't say shit. This is my
Yeah, he's out there.
you know what? Miss me with that, Dave. Miss me with that, man.
Gave reasons as to why he likes him. Whereas Dan Morgan didn't say shit about Jalen Walker.
Never even watched his tape.
He didn't even say whether or not you saw him as a linebacker or as an edge. So again, man. But Tony, listen. So again, I know you don't know any of these guys, so you just hear another tight end going in the first round.
Yeah, done.
But
top
Buddy,
15. I got a problem with top 15, bro.
So let me tell you about him. Buddy is every bit of 6'6", 265 pounds, and he can run like a running back. Like the dude has legit athleticism.
I like that size, though. I like that size. It's not like a receiving tight end. It's not
he's built like he's more built like Gronk than like a Kyle Pitts or something like that. So he's a big, strong dude. I think when you add him and Jatavion Sanders on this offensive line, if y'all go back,
it would be the biggest tight end group in the history of the world.
And remember, in 2011, how Greg Olsen and Jeremy Shockey having those two dependable, reliable tight ends, how good that was for Cam Newton. There's no reason why we couldn't do the same thing for Bryce. A tight end is the ultimate safety blanket. Tony, this is one of those scenarios where I think that you and I could both come away happy with this. If we traded back a little bit and was able to pick up maybe a first-round pick next year, and considering maybe we might take care of the defensive line in free agency, this might not be the worst move to make to get a dual-purpose, all-around weapon for Bryce Young.
CK,
yeah.
They were asking about the tip in the hand, this and that. You know my feelings about tight ends too. Even Greg, look, he referenced Greg Olsen. By the way, Greg Olsen drafted very high. Rest in peace, Joe Riolano. Love you, brother. Wanted Greg Olsen so bad in the draft. He went to the Bears. He comes back. He gets to Carolina. You're using an example of a great tight end who took a while to become a great tight end.
Yeah.
But we're talking about tipping the cap, tipping the hand, showing the hand, which I might need to ice myself up in that way later on. Is this Dave Canales just being happy, smiley, Ted Lasso Dave Canales? Like, oh, I love every player in the draft. That's what I could see is Dave Canales saying, I love everybody. Oh, look, he's interesting. Or is this a fondness? Did that smirk? What do you think about Dave Canales' thoughts on the tight end? Because he used the Cameron Brate a lot when he was in Tampa Bay.
There's a couple of caveats I have. I would be excited if we really felt like we addressed this defense. If we go into this draft and we pick a tight end and our defense hasn't really been in a confident way been resolved, at least a significant number of the holes squared away in the free agency market, there is no way in hell we're taking a tight end with a top 10 pick. There's no way. In the event that we do seem to get a great number of great free agents in the free agency period, then I'm open to the idea, because I am excited for the idea of having a guy that can be a guy, right? A Brock Bowers, a Gronk, a Kelsey, whatever it may be. I want that dude that is able to be a safety blanket when we don't have the likes of Adam Thielen in this offense. So I don't hate the idea of taking him. I hate the idea of taking him with all the other needs that we have being unaccounted for.
Truth.
What's up with this is
I did. I put some clips up here just to show everybody what this guy is capable of. The dude is the definition of a run blocking tight end, but he also has multiple 15-plus yard receptions on the year. The dude is awesome. He's an exciting player, man. And I understand the sentiment, and shout out to our favorite Falcon fan, Red Swarm, in the chat. It says, why would you be thinking of taking a tight end when you're your first pick, when you're coming off the worst statistical defense in NFL history? Great point. And no one's saying that this should be the focus. What we're saying
you should
is
not take a tight end in the top 15. No. And don't look at just this past year with the Las Vegas Raiders and this guy, anomaly. I'm sorry. We've been chasing people. Not we've been chasing. The NFL has been chasing this. Is you get one player that's an exceptional player, and you're like, oh, we can wrap it. Look, you want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons? Look at that. Kyle Pitts. And I'm not trying to throw shade and smoke, but just think is that, wow, that is a valuable player. Is that it just doesn't do enough. It just isn't enough. Don't take a tight end in the top 15. My rule in life. You're chasing. No, you're hoping. It's like buying a lottery ticket. Yeah, you can win the lottery. Don't worry. You can. It's possible to win the lottery, but it's not probable. And he is 100% right. Red Swarm, no doubt. Like, that would be the silliest shit ever. And I don't care what you do in free agency. I don't care what you do. You can go get a defensive end. You can get a defensive tackle. You need somebody else on defense. You need a top star, safety, linebacker, defensive tackle, defensive end. Don't be a little fish in the river and a little shiny thing comes and you're hooked and you got caught. That's what I'm saying.
Swarm said, hell, if we want Kyle Pitts, we can have him.
It's not even like, but it's like this. It's an overdraft. Any tight end in the top 15 is an overdraft.
I hear you, man. It's not what I would want to do that early. I want to go defense. I still want Mason Graham, the fucking badass white dude.
When did the Las Vegas guy go?
I think he went number 8. I think.
Okay. Like, is he the only tight end? Like, then name the other tight end in the top 15 that was who they were built up to be. Like, I mean, I want someone to tell me a tight end that was drafted in the top 15, and I can give you 10 that were bums. So you can't use the you can use the Las Vegas guys. I know. It's my own problem. Cody, what are we doing? Taking calls? We going to the news? What we got?
We can do more calls, or we can talk about Jaycee Horn. What would you like to do?
All right. How about this? The Carolina Panthers have a lot of problems on defense, And those problems, as they're trying, as Dave Canales is just being Ted Lasso, bro. He's like, oh, he just tells you everything that's great about you. He's the teacher that you give him the paper, and they're like, oh, you tried really hard. You wrote this, you did this, and it sucked in the background. Not sucked, but you failed to tell these people and correct them on what they needed to be. He's Ted Lasso. He's happy. He's laughing. He's smiling. He's going to say this about every prospect. Dan Morgan's position is to not say anything. Dave Canales is like playing a CIA game where he's just going to lose you in compliments. He's like, I'm going to compliment every player in the draft, and you have no idea who I truly like because I love every single one of them. We were talking about Dave. I just lost where we were going. We were going, we were talking about, what the fuck was I even talking about?
You want to talk Jaycee Horn? Or you want
Jaycee Horn. Oh,
Jaycee
yeah, that's what I was
Horn.
going to say is imagine taking a tight end and then not being able to sign Jaycee Horn, not having Mike Jackson, not having a safety. Oh, my God. Dan Morgan, who said this as they were addressing the media, that things are progressing with Jaycee Horn. He, quote, says, hopefully we can get something done sooner than later. You got to love the idea that Jaycee Horn, healthy season, finally, fifth-year option right now. Sometimes things take time, and I know us NFL fans are impatient, and you want them to be star from the beginning. But right now, we're getting a guy who's shown he can play well, and hopefully is telling us that these injuries a little freakish, and we need them back, bro. We need them back.
Yeah, listen, Jaycee Horn, I think he had his best year this past year with Carolina. Yeah, and I think that he's always been such a talented player. He has always been this this guy that's been plagued by injuries for most of his time here. But when he is healthy, you see him being a shutdown corner, and that's what he's been for. He's always had the potential to be that, but now you see him finally living up to it. I believe Vash I heard thinks that that he is probably going to be signed here soon, like within the next couple of days or whatever. And I would love to see it, man. I'll be interested to see what the number details is actually going to end up being. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Need them. I mean, this is always the problem. I think Dave Gettleman tried to overplay this at times, and I really like Dave Gettleman until he brought into his own hype. And you want to talk about when we're talking about Shaq Thompson, the multi-tool player? He drafted Curtis Samuel as well. He was trying to always find this guy that could do all these different things. Dave Gettleman, unfortunately, didn't listen to his own advice, which was position yourself in a way in free agency, then so you don't have to force yourself in the draft.
Yeah.
He would say things like, sometimes you got to let a big dog walk. Dave Gettleman would have tried to draft a big time. We put a first round pick in Jaycee Horn, and we needed him to work out, but we don't have anything. I don't think the Panthers have any leverage here. Look, Jaycee Horn might have a checkered past with injuries, but sorry, you're going to pay him. You're going to pay him the top dollar. You don't have a choice if you're the Carolina Panthers. Kind of sucks, but we need to do it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to freak out about the numbers, though.
No,
don't freak out about it. It's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to freak out about the
numbers. You got to just pay the lawyer, bro.
Yeah, why not, man? And we're at a time when defense is at a premium. We have to build the defense better, and this is our opportunity to do so.
Can we do this, CK?
Yeah.
CK, I know you can sing.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, I didn't have to do that.
Let's do it together.
No, that's not.
2, 3. Happy birthday
to you.
I don't even know what. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear
my back flipping and running over
Cody
people's feet, friend.
Happy birthday to you,
Cody.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, boys.
My best. You like my look? These are my brothers right here. You're looking at brothers on a pod. I was just saying this to my friend today. Is that when we're talking about a better time in lives? For me, actually, my life is great, even though it's tumultuous. When we were in COVID and people were like trying to find apps, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta hang out with my friends." I was like, "It's Tuesday. I'm gonna hang out with my best friends." I got COVID under control. Cody, you've been nothing but a blessing to my life. You are my brother. Thank you for making one more trip around the sun. And your ass better stick around till we get that. Put it in the bank.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. 35 years young. Yeah, happy to be here with you guys. And yeah, man, happy to see what the future holds.
Can we take another call or are we going news?
What's up, boys? It's your man, Tanner the Ranter. Man, I had to check in tonight because I ended up getting in the middle of this Steve Smith controversy. Now, this is kind of what happened. The guy ended up tweeting out, all the stuff. I'm checking in. It's 12 o'clock on a Saturday. I just got off of work. I'm checking in on Twitter, and all of a sudden I see this random-ass account where this dude is posting some legit shit, dropping bombs on Mr. Steve Smith Sr. Absolutely crazy. So I jump in there and I put a comment out. I say, any more proof this story seems made up? And it did, honestly. Coming out, nobody really thought it was real. I personally had no idea what to think. I mean, the evidence was there. Obviously, the call, that pretty much put all doubt to rest. I mean, that was definitely Steve Smith, especially when he said, "I'm sorry." There was zero doubt in my mind that he had the right guy. And, of course, I tried to call the number and immediately got blocked. So that was also more proof. Anyway, I commented, stated that, and he comments right back to me. Started getting over like 200,000 impressions. All these people commenting back at me. It was pretty nuts. Saturday was crazy.
Guy?
In all honesty, though, guys, Steve Smith is a great guy.
I think so.
He does have a really nice fan. I've met a couple of those people before. I think some of his kids. One of them, I think, even may have went to West. Anyway, bottom line, Steve Smith is a good dude. His wife is a very, very nice gal. It's a shame, man. In all honesty, this is a shame. Fact of the matter is, something happened. Something went down. Whether or not it was, I don't want to speculate, but it is really sad. Steve Smith's a great dude. He's got a really nice family. I really hope for the best for him. Other than that, man, I had to share it. It was a crazy experience. I had to give you guys a shout. I jumped right in the middle of this thing, and all of a sudden, we see this, and I still don't know what to really say. I'm still waiting on Cam Newton's response. I think everybody wants to hear what Cam's got to say, especially after Steve Smith just threw a shot at him last week. I'll leave that part up for discussion. What is Cam Newton going to say in regards to this Steve Smith controversy? Is Cam going to be Cam and, start to put some shots back, or is he going to take a step back and kind of let it all play out without saying much? I'm very curious what you guys think about that. Keep pounding, baby. Woo!
Keep pounding. I don't know. I don't know if
I don't want to look at this picture of Steve Smith. Go back. I feel like this. If I got this text from Steve Smith, I'm like, I don't want to look at the bottom half of it.
Why is this not? Hang on.
Big shout out to hold on.
Mike Hollinger.
C3 Super Bomb. One C3 bomb leads to another $4.99. Look at this generosity tonight. We appreciate it. The bills got to be paid. StreamYard cost a lot. Tony Canales lasso reference so on point. Happy B-Day, Cody. Keep pounding. Let's go to this Steve Smith joint here.
Yeah. So a couple of days ago, a dude by the name of Tony Martinez.
Why does it always got to be an Anthony, a Tony, a this and that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. But he basically goes on his own personal Twitter and he posts all of the email or all the text messages that he found on his wife's phone and outed him. And it was Steve Smith posting pictures of himself, but also just the wild shit that she was saying to him.
Whoa. The wild shit she was saying to him?
Well, the wild,
Let's
yeah.
Dude, that's
what I'm saying. Listen,
saying.
Man.
Come on. This is so married, dude. This is so.
Did y'all really not see any of this? Am I the only one?
I looked at a couple of
everything.
I looked at a couple of the things. I saw this is you said, hey, thanks for the birthday wishes because I messaged you. And you're like, have you checked out the Steve Smiths yet? And I'm like, look, basically just search my own life, suggested. And I saw the husband post with the pictures. I heard the call. And I'm going to tell you this is I might ice up Smitty for just being like, I'm sorry. Walk us through the whole thing, Cody. Walk us through this.
Well, I mean, I pretty much did. He showed...
No, you haven't walk us through the comment and read the text.
Well, so the
Come on, read them with gusto.
Dude,
you said have you not seen this? No, like I saw a little bit of. I saw this one picture of like this and that, and then somebody posted this picture of Steve Smith, basically a dick pic, but it had like a My Little Pony on it or something like that.
How about this? Can you read it? Because hers are the ones in. Okay, well, you might not be able to see it.
How about that? Let me see if I can read it. All right. So at Fear Buck posted this on Twitter or X. He said, "Man just found out that former." So he's not even the person, right? So he's
no. Fear Buck. So the original poster deleted his account.
Okay, or he got silenced.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I got questions about that. Did Smitty bring the attorneys out? You know what I'm saying?
No. But
I mean, I got some questions about this.
He called the dude on her cell phone.
I got that part.
And recorded via his phone.
But I want to know why this, as the Twitter account's taken down. Was it because somebody was talking about with the phone number being up? I'm interested in why that happened, and that was the case. But so we get this text message series between a woman and Steve Smith. I believe she was a former Ravens
band. She was a part of the marching band.
Yeah,
the marching band. Oh,
yes.
They're always.
And there was a video. Tony, there was a video of Steve Smith too doing some stuff with the Ravens band a couple of years back too.
Yeah, and did you see somebody said that was his type or something like that? Yeah. I used to play when in sixth grade. I started playing the saxophone. I played the saxophone from sixth grade to 11th grade. I quit. You had to mandatorily be in the marching band. But I'm going to say the worst thing I ever did in my life is quit the marching band. I got more marching band people. Them girls be good. All right. So this is the twits. Here are the twits. It says, yes, sir. Who's green? Is she green or is...
Yeah, she's the one in the green.
Green. Yes, sir. Steve Smith says, take me deep down your throat like you kind of like. You wanted to... Why do they try to, suck me?
Yeah, why is it...
I'm going to know this. Is why suck me. Suck is the bad word.
Yeah, why is it redacted? Like, why is that? It looked like it's a fucking CIA fucking... a JFK file or something.
I know. She did, but I would have redacted gagged on it. But you had to come home. You had to come home. Go home, maybe. I mean, go home.
She's like,
you enjoy it. All right, I'm so mad about this. Is why you using?
No, she said I did. I would have gagged on it, but I had to go home. She said you enjoy it. You like to.
But the use, they're not even saying why. Oh, you it bothers me.
No, I know. It's
You like to feel it. She right. I like no, she says I like feeling it deep in my wet redacted pussy.
I read her redact.
I'm gonna say that every time.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too. Letting you, Steve, the lowercase u, letting you taste it though, THO, would be S turn on. I would have shot my redacted nut all up inside your redacted.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's so
pussy.
cringe, dude. It's
I
so
love
cringe.
making you, dude. All right, so the thing though, I don't know. Do you have more to show? Because I
No,
listened
there
to the
was
phone
more.
call.
Like
Do
she's
we
like
not have
that's
the phone call?
no,
Is it gone?
no.
The phone
I
call
think
is not
it's-
gone.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you this. Is this man called up Steve Smith and said, "You fucking my wife"? And I know that must be a tough phone call to make for any man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to be honest, brother, like you don't even make that phone call. You need to just
A lot of people were saying he made himself look worse.
No. Don't. Yeah, I mean, look, the internet's gonna tell you whatever they like. No, fuck that. He did what he did. He said that. But here's the thing: is Steve Smith he said, "I'm sorry." Steve Smith sounded like a little boy got caught with his hand in a cookie jar. He did, and we used to have these we've done it on this show. It was like, who would you want to be a roommate with the Carolina, like a Panther? Who would you want to be your roommate? Who would you want to have your back in a fight? Who would you want? And I used to always say I would not want Steve Smith as my roommate because I'd have to put a fucking double bolt on my bedroom and he'd be like, who ate my cheese nips? Who ate my cheese nips? And beating on your door. And to hear Steve Smith say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mama.
Yeah.
Like he didn't come back. He didn't talk shit. He didn't punch Ken Lucas in the face. He didn't do shit. He got caught. He got caught. And this, homies, women, this is why the internet fucking sucks. It's awesome because we're doing this podcast. But don't put your dick up in the pic. Don't ever put a dick pic. I ain't never put a you know what pic on the internet or ever. I'm old school. I'm a 90s kid. I ain't ever done that. And I saw a picture, dude, when you told me to look at it. And I saw some of the conversation, and Smitty's doing a picture in the mirror, and then the Twitter joint had like a My Little Pony over it. Thank God.
Yeah, I did see that picture.
But like, I mean,
do y'all think? Let me ask
you
y'all.
are a fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
Don't send dick pics, bro. Don't. What do you think this means for Steve Smith?
That's what I was about to ask you. Do you think that they're gonna, or that he could lose sponsorships?
Sponsorships? How
I mean,
about
not sponsorships, but like
NFL Network, Panthers?
He hasn't to this point.
Dude, if he's not on Nightcap by the end of the week, that's a missed opportunity right there.
What?
Shannon Sharp's podcast.
I don't. But what is that? Does he gotta go? I was about to pull Antonio Brown and say, has he got to go rainbow on that? What does that mean? What is Nightcap? Tell me. Why do you say that?
Do you not remember the scenario when Shannon Sharp went live on Instagram while going at it with
I do remember.
He was going
like,
deep
bro.
All
right. Well, I had one other thing I was going to say about this. Oh, I did want to bring this up. I mean, not bring it up, but mention it about this dude, whoever this happened, right, to his wife. It was married, right? It was his wife.
Yeah.
So
it was
the
his
woman
wife.
that Steve Smith was having an affair with was married, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I Googled it. I did. I hope it probably went away. or maybe I open a new tab. All right, let me just bring this up. Is that in North Carolina, there's a law called a loss of affection, right? As in, like, if someone blows up your marriage and they are the cause for your wife or husband to like they ruined it. It's not an adultery. I think it's a little bit more than adultery law, but like if you could establish like a pattern or something. Now there is this dude that goes to a bar in Greenville, North Carolina, who is the first person in the history of North Carolina to win for a guy the loss of affection. Like he's the first one. He goes to this bar that I used to go to. Now, I don't know what it means for this, but with Steve Smith being a multi-millionaire, likely, like you don't go after a lost affection for a Wawa or a Circle K attendant salary. But Steve Smith, multi-millionaire, got a lot going, on NFL Network, got a podcast and this and that. To me, I'm sitting here going, there are attorneys contacting this dude talking about loss of affection, lawsuits. And the way I'm bringing this into this conversation, do you think that the deletion of the account is Twitter telling him that this is inappropriate? Is this the guy deleting his account based on people advising him to delete the account? Or is this threat like Steve Smith sending the attorneys after him right away? This is bad, bro. It's bad.
I know.
It's bad to cheat. It's bad to send dick pics on the internet. It's terrible to be a multimillionaire on the NFL Network to get fucking caught smashing a girl's wife and then saying, I'm sorry. Steve.
Yeah, that's true, but there's also some double standards here. I like what Coach P said. Carissa Thompson, she had videos leaked of her like sexting and texting professional players, like nude pics and stuff. And she
Was
never
she married? Was she married?
I don't know.
See, that's what we need to know, because it's not about whether it's morally
But does that
right.
change?
I don't care about
anything,
morally
though?
right. This isn't a moral thing for me. What it is when you are worth a lot of money, loss of affection, a lawsuit for a loss of affection. If you are, what if you could be Steve Smith's wife and do it, maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
That would
I
be
don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like there's so many dudes that have been caught sleeping around, and I don't feel like they're. I don't
right
feel
or
like
wrong, dude.
I don't
They
feel like their
worth
whole
$1
career is ended
million
because of it.
dollars. Look at what, and I know it's an extreme example, but the CK, who's the guy that owned Amazon?
Bezos.
And he paid her they got divorced in California, and she got what, like $500 million or something, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I tell you this, it's one thing if you make $70,000 a year, and it's going to cost you $40,000 in attorney fees to pursue this. But if this is a $3 million payout by this dude, what if he just launched? Sorry, Smitty. Maybe you should ice me up. But maybe we're already talking about a payoff to this dude so he doesn't sue him for that. Smitty, don't put your dick on the fucking internet.
People are wondering if his wife is going to divorce him. They've been together since 2005, right?
Okay. Well, guess what?
No, I know, man.
Time.
I'm just saying.
Was that a jab? Happy birthday to you, motherfucker. All right, what we got next? Let's take calls. Let's move on. Smitty, you're the ice. I think this is a collect. Can we do this before we do the ice ups? Do you guys feel it's worthy?
We still got we still got a few more calls to power.
Let's go. But I'm saying a collective 1, 2, 3, Smitty. Eyes up. All right, go.
Eyes up. All right. Tell me if you've heard this.
What's up, boys? It's your man, Tanner the Ranter. Man, I had to check in tonight because...
Did we hear that one?
No, I don't think so.
Hang on. I might run out of order. Oh, have you heard this?
Yo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, my C3 family?
Okay, here we go.
Sanford, North Carolina. Just want to let y'all know I'm been really doing good lately, man, and I'm thankful for all this
Awesome,
y'all love and
brother.
support. Shout out to the great Tony Dunn, the homie Cody Lack, CK Cole Hizzle, Batman still praying for you, Bad Daddy, the Cole, the D's, my brothers from other mothers, shut the hell up. Panther Pickle, hey, look, I love the whole C3 Legion. So, I started chuckling in the title. We talking about rearranging rosters and IUDs. So the first thing, shout out to you, Shaq Thompson. I thank you for your service, everything that you have done for the Carolina Panthers. Salute to you. Nothing but success to you and your future endeavors. Smitty, hey, look, that was a wild weekend. I had caught on to it late. I got with my Legion boys, and look, yeah, Smitty was wrong. But then on the same breath, man, this junk shouldn't have made social media. This shouldn't have been public, man. Look, either way, Smitty knew what he was doing. I know he catches some backlash because of the backlash he threw towards Cam. I'm not here for none of that. But what I am here for is the combines here. We about to find out the making of the next dogs coming here. We about to find out. Free agency right around the corner. About to acquire some new dogs. I'm ready for that. And then we're going to continue the process to get to the draft so that we can get them puppies and turn them into dogs. And if you ain't with us, baby, you ain't welcome to the parade. Key.
Pounded. Let's go. Shout out to D. Money, our guy. Let's go to the next one.
What's up, boys? It's your man, Tanner the Ranter. Man, I had to check in tonight because I ended up getting in the middle of this Steve Smith controversy. Now,
we heard
this is
this
kinda
one.
what happened.
We heard this one.
The guy ended up tweeting
You heard
out,
this one.
all this.
Hey guys, it's the growl that makes him howl, aka Joey the Blind Panther. Yeah, I heard about the Shaq Thompson thing yesterday, and when my dad and I were driving around, they even had it on WFAE, and if WFAE talks about it on the top of the hour, it's a pretty big deal because they usually talk about political shit. But, so, I don't really know how to feel about that because on one hand, yeah, he's an older player that, people on this podcast have been talking about getting rid of him for a couple of years now, and then he always comes on the field and balls out, and then, what happens when we lose him. Now, granted, we lost Derek Brown at the same time as him, but yeah, you can't understate how big of a loss Shaq was on the defense when he wasn't around. But, torn Achilles, we saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers with torn Achilles, although I think Aaron Rodgers is a whole other issue, and it might be between the ears, but that's just neither here nor there. But this is something I would like to say. This is something I don't think any other general manager would have done. I know damn sure Marty Herney wasn't going to do this. Dave Gettleman, maybe Dave Gettleman would have done it. Scott Fitterer wasn't going to do it. But Dan Morgan is the only one with the balls to say, you know what, this guy is towards the end of his career. We need to get younger on defense. And, I like that kind of thinking, but then again, you are creating another hole on our defense. Shaq was a huge veteran presence on the defense and what have you. So there's good and bad with that, but I think Dan Morgan went and did what he thought he needed to do, and I think some thought went into this. Anyway, guys.
Wow. Appreciate you, Joey. And, CK, when listening to Dan Morgan, he made the point of saying how Brant Tillis was the one who was actually speaking to the agents for Corbett and Trimble and, all these different guys.
Yeah.
Brant Tillis is a big part of the team now that he's in the front office. I really do think that he's, him and Dan are really kind of steering the ship.
Yeah.
So I like that we're going in a more defensive direction in terms of team building. And I'm just excited to see what we can do, man. We have a lot of options available to us. I'll be interested to see what exactly they think is a fix for this defensive line right now.
Yeah.
But we will see. Let's take another one.
Hey guys, it's the Growl.
Hey guys, John B. Jenkins here.
John B.
to share with you a rundown of all of the upcoming alternative football leagues that are going to be playing during the off season of our Carolina Panthers. There may be a hidden gem on one of these rosters, on one of these leagues, that could make its way not only into the NFL, but onto our beloved Carolina Panthers. Starting off in March, on March 8th, the National Arena League, as well as the AF1, which was formerly the AFL, will be starting play. National Arena League has our very own Carolina Cobras team out of Greensboro in their midst. So March 8th are those two leagues. The IFL, or Indoor Football League, starts on March 21st. Then we've got the UFL, which starts March 28th. And this is the league that you really want to watch, because these are the guys that may wind up in the NFL. Cavante Turpin. I'm sure everybody's heard of Cavante Turpin. I've talked to Cavante Turpin before. He actually got his start as a Wrocław Panther in the ELF, of all places,
nice.
And then wound up in the NFL, but via the UFL or USFL at the time. Anyway, that's March 28th. Then we've got the Women's Football Alliance. Yes, the Women's Football Alliance has been around for almost 40 years, I believe. They start on April 26th. We've got the European League of Football starting on May 17th. Look for new quarterback DJ Irons from Akron on our Wrocław Panthers. Then we've got the Arena League, which is a new Arena League starting on May 30th. Then we have the Liga de Fútbol Americano Profesional in Mexico starting in May. The draft is actually March 1st. Vamos Asos, that's Ryan Cleo's team. Then we've got the CFL starting June 5th. If you want a fun guy to root for in that league, look for Nathan Rourke on the BC Lions. Awesome quarterback. And then in June, we've got our Carolina Panthers coming in to training camp. And isn't it in June? Maybe it's July. Anyway, usually. Will someone from one of these alternative leagues wind up on our Panthers team in training camp? Watch and you may find out. Anyway, love you guys, as always. Keep pounding Carolina Panthers. Keep pounding Panthers Wrocław. And keep pounding C3 Panthers Podcast. John B. Jenkins out.
John B. Jenkins, member for 30 months. 30 months, C3 Superfan, $1.99 a month. Real AP we've had some jokes tonight that made me laugh like crazy. He said, Brant Tillis' head so big, you got to zoom out. Do we have more calls?
We do.
Keep going.
Hey guys, it's the girl that makes an hour. Looks like I'm going to join the Flying Panther.
Whoa.
Again.
Growling twice?
I've been able to figure out home and away games for years, dude. Like, you want to know how to do it? So you take a certain division, right? And you take, like, say you have the AFC West, like last year. Well, this year, or last year, the Chargers came to Charlotte, and the Chiefs came to Charlotte. And we went to Vegas and Denver. Okay? That's because in 2020, the Raiders and the Broncos came to Charlotte, And we went to LA and Kansas City. So, who do we play this year? Let me see. West. I think we play the AFC East, right? Well, the Patriots came to Carolina in 2021. We're going there this year. The Dolphins are coming here this year because we went there in 2021. And the Bills are coming here. So we're going to MetLife to play the Jets, and we're going to Gillette to play the Patriots in 2025 because they're the ones that came last year. So it's just some examples to figure it out. It's kind of hard to keep track of. You have to be someone who's looking at that to go because you're looking to go to away games every year like I am. But I've been doing that for years. Anyway, guys. Wow.
Wow. Do you have anything to say to that one, Tony?
No, we got more calls. Let's go.
Let's do it.
What's going on? It's me, C-Dog, 1983 TV. Whenever you come in here, make sure you hit the motherfucking like button. Make sure you subscribe to this great fucking content. Real quick, I hope everybody have a great fucking week. My birthday was this past Sunday. I'm 42 years old. I'm not a son. It feels good. No
42.
kids,
Bro, you look
no
good.
wife,
You feel
no
good.
stress.
43 here, baby.
But, man, I hope everybody have a great week. Make sure you come in here and hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the great content. These boys are very consistent. C3 Podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. They go live every Tuesday. They got a free for all every Friday. Then they do the game reviews on Sunday. Then on Saturday we have the Madden. On Saturday we had the Madden games and everything. But now I'm excited for this defense. For them talking about they're gonna work on the defensive line. You know, I'm excited about that. Really, we could just go all defense, really, or just, you know, get at least like 1 or 2 offensive linemen in the draft. I would be happy, you know. But Legette, I mean, I don't care about Legette, really. I'm just gonna be honest with you because I think Jalen Coker is just he's better than Legette. So if Legette not here at the beginning of the season, I don't give a fuck because Coker is a better route runner and he has pure fucking hands, you know. So it's about to be the Jalen Coker fucking show, you know. But that being said, man, I just want to call in here and just say what's up to everybody. Say what's up to the whole C3 panel and all the C3 and the Panthers fans across the land and across the world and everything. But I hope everybody have a great week. Like I said, whenever you come in here, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this great content, you know. The C3 Podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube, you know.
Yes, sir.
But everybody have a great day and keep pounding. C-Dog 1983 TV out.
Keep pounding. And hey, brother, listen, man, I also want to say to everybody, thank you to everybody that stuck with us through thick and thin, through the ups and downs of the channel. You know, me, Tony, and CK have all been through a lot in our personal lives. And, you know, we do our best to, you know, congregate every Tuesday and Friday and give you guys these good Panther content, man. We do this for fun. The minute that this isn't fun, we won't be doing this anymore, man. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. One more call from C-Dog, and then another call, and then we're done for the night.
Real quick, man, C-Dog 1983 TV. This is my second call. I'm going to make this short and sweet. But real quick, the release of Shaq Thompson, I really didn't care because I like Trevor Wallace. Even when Trevor Wallace went down, the other rookie we got, the undrafted rookie, number 41, won him or whatever. I'm ready to go ahead and turn the pages, man. So I am happy. You know, we're not going to be just trying to sit back and play with the same players like we used to do in the past, you know, with Riviera, just playing the veteran players. And I let the young boys play. Put them young boys on the goddamn field. But 41, want them, and Trevor Wallace, you know. I mean, they need to go ahead and start, you know. And real quick, with Steve Smith, real quick, man. Steve Smith, I mean, I really mind my business. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. But the only reason I'm going to say something because Steve Smith always got something to say about fucking Cam Newton. Now, Steve Smith, mind your fucking business. You keep your dick in your fucking pants. You know what I'm saying? Right, remember out here talking about goddamn the only MVP in team history. You know, you out here cheating and all this bullshit. Like, come on, man. That's the only thing I gotta say, man. Cam Newton is the only MVP in team history, man. Put some respect on his fucking name, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this show you, man. Motherfuckers got them out here talking about Cam Newton, and you out here cheating on his fucking wife and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. What the fuck, man? You out here got them doing dirty shit. You know what I'm saying? You doing worse shit than goddamn Cam to me. Cam ain't married to nobody. Cam's single. But anyways, man, that's all I gotta say about Steve Smith's bitch ass. But everybody have a great fucking night, man. The C3 Podcast is the longest running motherfucking Panthers podcast on YouTube. Put some respect on their shit, man. Like and subscribe to this great fucking content. C-Dog 1983 TV out.
You can catch me like a Playboy on the Riviera. You can catch me on Rivieras on Tuesday night with the Dominican mothers. All right, let's go to the next call.
The final call of the night.
Yo, my C3 family. It's me one more time. I could not let this night go by without wishing little bro Cody Lack
Appreciate you, dog.
a very, very happy birthday.
Yes,
You
sir.
mean absolutely the world to me, just like you mean so much to this legion and to this family. I hope your day is as beautiful as your spirit is, family. I will go to war with anybody over you, bro. I love you.
Die on that
I
hill.
wish you
We'll
the
die on
happiest
your hill with you, brother.
birthdays.
Keep pounding. I love you, brother. The C3 Legion, man. I have real brothers, man. Real life brothers. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. 35
Problem
years.
is he said we gotta go to war with you. You're gonna build this hill, and we all gotta be brothers with you, and we're gonna be on this hill, dying on this hill with you. And you're
The
like, damn it.
Legion, the Legion has to be ready to go to war.
I
if
know,
need
because
be,
this
man.
mug holds he dies on a hill.
Bro, I'm
Another
ready for
C3
battle.
bomb.
If I'm ready for anything, baby, let's get it.
One C3 bomb leads to another C3 bomb. Thank you, Flames Watch. $5 C3 bomb. Always sucks to have a longtime player be gone, especially this team. I get why. Hope he retires a Panther. Cody, Lack, we've had a great show tonight. We got, how apropos is it to finish the show on an ice up pig? Oh. Let's tell someone to ice up, toughen up to get it together.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's our homage to Steve Smith and the legal whatever that's going to happen as this fallout. Oh, collective ice up to Steve Smith for putting his D on the internet or in a picture and sending it to a. All right. I got one ice up. I hope everybody's got one. What you guys got?
No, dude, I don't have a video tonight. I don't have something.
All right. I got one simple one then. Let me go first then. Mine's easy, simple. This is a ice up, a positive ice up. Starts with it's not a negative. I'm icing up bad or crappy money grabbing district attorneys. And I'm celebrating the good, the great, the empathetic ones. Because this dude right here, over a month ago, about a month and a half ago, I got a speeding ticket in the school zone. School zone, 3 o'clock to 3:30 or whatever it is. It goes from 35 to 25. I was 5 feet. I mean, look, I don't got to explain. There ain't no excuses. I got the ticket at 3:07. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, I mean, I usually am not there. In irony, I was going to pick my kids up from school and I was running behind. So I had this ticket. I got this ticket. I had to go to the DA or his ADA, and I want to celebrate. My ice up is an anti-ice. I'm throwing the heat pack. Ice up to the assholes and heat pack to this assistant ADA. You got to go up there. My advice also is when they have their office hours to go kind of late towards the end, because I felt like he was like really moving through these guys. It's like he's like 5 o'clock's coming, baby. Like, let's get this. So I walk up there and I had this ticket and I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I like explain the circumstances? Should I be like, oh man, I was only 8 feet into the school zone. It was early, I said, hello, how you doing? I don't know if I'm supposed to. And he said, let me just look at your stuff and I'll take care of it. Or not take it. I'll let you know. And he said to me, your last speeding ticket was in 2012? I said, yes, sir. He said, case dismissed. Have a good day. So heat pack, ice up them mugs that would have made me pay them court costs. I walked out of there. No cost. Whoever this guy was, love him. That's my heat pack ice up pick.
Ice up. Listen, mine is very simple, man. There's no way I could ice up anyone other than our man Smitty.
No.
The fact that he's been so outspoken. He was so against Jerry Jeudy getting paid. He was so against Baker Mayfield. Now he has stuff to say about Cam Newton. And I don't know. I don't even know if we did talk about Cam Newton's response. I think we did. Cam Newton saying, listen, like, you can be good players on a team that is made up of a losing mentality, aka a bunch of losers. I still don't love the way Cam worded it, but like everything that Steve Smith has been very, very vocal about. And then for something like this to come out, man, like, I don't know. And then how do you look at your kids and your wife? Dude, it's just terrible, man. Like, I know it's easy to say what you would do in that situation, but you have so much going for you.
How is this the most epic ice up of ice ups?
I think it has to be when we iced up Steve Smith for
getting the ice up award.
It's almost blasphemy to do that, right?
It's like a Greek tragedy. Like your greatest strength becomes your greatest weakness, or whatever. CK, you got to ice up for us?
Man. No, I would go political, but I've already done that like a couple of weeks in a row. So I'm gonna stick with letting this end with Smitty being the ultimate ice up here tonight.
All right, ice pack on ice pack, Smitty, and no moral judgment. Look, all these mugs have done. Like, people, you got caught, bro. You got caught. Don't put your D on the internet. Stop texting. No real homie. No real ice up. Let's get out of here. It's the C3 Panthers podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night I chop it up with these two fellas, my homies, Cody Lack, CK. My name's Tony Dunn. Cody, take us out of here. We got a lot to talk about, but we finished talking tonight.
C3. Until next time, keep pounding.